Enti President Mahama or say or call resetting to as CADA or voter region when na or address in nkofo mushia or honomo and na opese or address social media issues kakra enye nim se nanse de ye pushi no any term agenda no address o se na ni nye why wasi an ni nye ho kra na ni je ho kra tinani so wasi aha mama no one term enti no eno an opese okọ to obo ne ho modin bia se de o kan so obeye within that one term no obeye Okan no wiye and no be address social media and semia bi na ohwa ekwa accountability ho and na ohwa net say keka miracle aboaje side ho no mo because as a stance ne de miracle aboaje ni issue no ya about accountability no and NCC a trendy okrom ha echi ni ko shem be 4 days afia na yeyi no nti okeka kwa ape na mama ga bia ma president ankasa nwie mama ga sorry ye no se president ma to abasa wo manyimu o si accountability ye hu se wa ye bibia nti kenoforiata issue no akosisen na e wo se obomoden anso na wo de ne breye wa ha no na me de bra ye CBD TV nti ancestor president Mahama o de mama gan na uwiya wo ho na wa kire wa dwan ma me comment section ho no mo uwiya no wa share no wa like na mo me start here baby a president Mahama o say term agenda bia ye kan no o si na ni nye ho no ai mo kokko zakwa ko seek the interpretation of sa law no o say won mo amasema o si na ni.
The people of Ghana gave me a mandate for one term, and I am working hard to meet the promises I made them. And so I always tell my ministers, I say, let's number our days so that we can work harder to meet the promises we made the Ghanaian people. I note that people have gone to the Supreme Court seeking interpretation of the clause that governs the tenure of the president. If you ask my personal opinion, I thought that it was clear enough. I've read it over several times. It's exactly what it says. But if they want to ask the Supreme Court, that is their business. But I know that the people of Ghana gave me one additional term, and I'm going to work to meet the trust that they put in me. Thank you very much.
Assembly nane da wono. Owieye eno tisi mu. Osi oni yoko omu ni asembia. Yoko ye nedjuma, ono so ye nedjuma. Won kan hwenche yokofo enti se wa hold public office bi pen na sesika fa onsase na se yokofo aba bemmo de wokwa ye do ko ne ko hwehwemu na se uni unfa sika bia na sesika bia fa onsase a hu so ye gya na wokọ na emom sesika bia fa onsase a ne na je se waso be ye hye enti wo se on de da bia ne appointees otu omofo wo se de se kan ne etwa ko ni sei no aban ne da ne be senso twa ba ni sei enti no obi anhwe yi sedi nso ye no wo se saa ena wia so ebeye.
I also just want to touch on accountability and to say that we do not harbor any malice against any person, and indeed I do not take any enjoyment or pride in prosecuting people if they have done no wrong. And I believe that our prosecutorial system, investigative system, and judicial system grants enough leverage for people to have justice. And so nobody would, out of political vendetta or malice, prosecute anybody if you've done no wrong. And if you've done no wrong and you are being prosecuted maliciously, the courts will be able to uphold your rights and set you free. And so it shouldn't be like we're trying to hound our political opponents or something. We proceed on the basis of evidence we have received. And then the evidence is weighed. And if it is sufficient, there are many times we have reports and all that. Sometimes the evidence comes and it's not substantive. And so you say, if it's on the weight of this evidence, you cannot proceed to court. So discard it. Or investigate further and see if there's something else that you have not found. But otherwise, if a case proceeds, and that is why the whole system of accountability is taking time, because you need to be thorough. By the time Yoko or OSP or somebody comes and arrests the person, it means that months of work have taken place reviewing the evidence. And so I just want to assure that accountability is still our number one priority. But like I keep saying, the sword does not cut only one way. If we find evidence that any of our current appointees or persons working in government under our tenure also has abused the public trust, the way the sword is cutting that way, it will cut this way too. And so I always caution my appointees to be very careful. Be sure you follow the procedure, don't cut corners. And the point is, if you have any doubts, I tell the ministers every day, if you have any doubt, bring it to cabinet. Let's all look at it and take a collective decision on it. If you bring it to cabinet and we take a collective decision based on the wisdom of the president and all the ministers there, tomorrow nobody can come and hold you and say you did this on your own because you wanted to do this or do that. And so we'll continue to pursue accountability, because I believe that if we are accountable, we cut down corruption, and we also reduce the amount of waste of public resources, we would not need to go to the IMF for anything. I mean, look at all the work we've done in 1.5 years without going onto the international capital market for borrowing. Where did that money come from? It is the same CDs, the same domestic revenue that we have used for everything. Agboja spoke. Last year, we used 13.8 billion for the big push alone. This year, 30.8 billion for the big push alone. And so that's a commitment of more than 40 billion cedis. I mean, where did we find more than 40 billion cedis for reconstructing our roads? It's because we cut waste, we are prioritizing where we are putting the people's money. And that is going to be the hallmark of this government.
President Mahama ekasewi na chesa afa o mabie floor ni mu se obi pese obi sa no question bia o misa no nyina no ene dru mamaga so mamaga se da ben ena o mode nana ya ofuriata e ba Ghana if say watu abasa accountability yakasa o chese wo hunu ne eko enti President Mahama da ben na akofa kenofuriata e de na brain President Mahama se mamaga we de mepa achewo we emra ne yede ye adwuma anya so so anu akofa nipa kona ba na mu ba bi adron de we de achopa nkotodwe egufom na nsa dansa yam ene we de ye pa kanofori atache se we de sere na nkono amfa ne bag no mra Ghana mayen na mra no de adron de ayedin enti we de President Mahama wose ignana ya oforiata we de wo yesere wo ma ya papa no yesere bo modern fa bag na bref you man why na ne aye die.
What I want to say, when I was coming, my people were calling me, try to say something, no, we want to hear something, that's why I'm forcing to talk.
So let's hear it quickly then.
So
now your question or contribution, please.
What I want to ask again, the questions are many, but the only
Just one question, yes.
Only one I want to ask is that if all the addresses are based on accountability, I am voting for many years now. I have not seen any of the ministers like Oforiata running away. So I want to have an assurance that by all means they will bring him back to come and account.
Thank you very much. So
there are laws governing extradition or return of fugitives from justice. It's a legal process, and so you need to respect the rights of the person at the same time. And so if the person has absconded from a jurisdiction and gone into a new jurisdiction, if you want to bring him back, first you must have an extradition treaty with that country, and then secondly you must trigger a request, an application for extradition. And the person has the right to take a lawyer, go before a judge, and if he doesn't want to come, he will argue against coming, and your point 2 must be made that he's needed because he's done this and this and that. And so to go
Enti President Mahama ena waka ne nsem nyina edewi na mesrew wahwe ededru hanoma mesrew say ma unua subscribe why subscribe mami uwi a hye wadwen mami o comment section no wa like it no wa share ede amami bebre uwi nso mesrew mia notification bell no say the bear anytime you upload new video na wo hu na wo so aba be hwe bi that's bebre see you in the next video.